education, but it is not all. Okay, we can work, we can get entry into services, research, practice, and recently this thing has been coming up, entrepreneurship. And there are of course others, we'll see what it is. Okay. See, the most common highway we choose is MBBS leading to higher education. What we think of higher education, when we think of higher education, we think only of PGs. Okay, but higher education does not mean only do PG or super specialization. We have to appear for NEET. Probably this is going to be national exit exam by the time you reach your final year, and there are certain central institutes which offer their own exams, and you land up into the post graduation course or the equivalent diploma at national board. After that you might super specialize, or there are integrated programs. Okay, after that there are fellowship, certification, etc., etc. If you choose medical specialties, those involve direct involvement in healthcare and medical education. Those can be divided broadly into preclinical, clinical, in that medical and surgical, which involve laboratory and diagnostics, and also some interventions, specialized interventions, and also administration and management. And there are other specialties also which has no direct involvement in healthcare but considered as higher education. These are non-medical. We'll discuss later. These are MBA hospital administration, Master of Hospital Administration in medical sciences, technology, biomedical engineering, and all. So let us, this is in a nutshell, we'll see this is what we concentrate most of our efforts and resources into. These are just arbitrary division. Everything contributes to the patient care and also teaching. In our country, doctor has to take multi-role, teaching, research, as well as patient care in direct or indirect way. Preclinical specialties, as you will be knowing, opening up to the medical course, these are the subjects, few subjects you are familiar with, especially anatomy, physiology, biochemistry. And later on you will go through all these departments. Okay, and clinical broad specialties can be divided into medicine and allied, surgical and allied. This is one more important decision we'll have to make before we enter into PG courses. So the list goes on: general medicine, pediatrics, psychiatry, TB, chest. If I keep on telling, it is exhaustive. I have not listed all the specialties which are available in India and abroad probably. So these are just commonly selected specialties. After this, the journey doesn't end here only. This list is much bigger, super specialties, and definitely every medical student fancy going into all these things. It has its own advantages, its own disadvantages, so on. I probably, if I keep on telling all these things, it will be very time taking. All these are fancy names, and this examination is needed to crack post your PG. You'll have to again appear for one more NEET. You probably would have tired of NEETs by then. NEET super specialty. Okay, so they can be broadly divided into medicine related, of course pediatrics. Most of the things follow the medicine but specialize in pediatrics, and surgery. Nowadays anesthesia field is also coming up. Preclinical super specialties are also coming up. Psychiatry super specialties, radiology super specialties are also coming up. And by the time you reach your exit exam, the list would have grown much bigger. Now the next thing, what about the job options? All of us may not be in a position to take up PG due to various reasons we will understand in future. The next most commonly opted option is getting a job. So we can broadly divide into government and private sector because pay differs. Usually the entry level pay is somewhere around probably 30k, and it can go as high as 1.5k depending upon the sectors or the institutes you choose. On a whole, probably by the time you come into this stage, the pay would have been much higher. So government medical officers in primary centers, community centers, corporations, PSUs, both on contract and permanent basis they are going to recruit. And obviously junior assistants or tutors in government colleges. When you come into the private sector, again same way, duty or resident medical officers in various private hospitals, corporate chains, local nursing homes, and primary physician in various companies, campuses, or factories, even NGOs, and junior residents in private medical college. This is an option, and most of the graduates who are not able to get into PG will in one or other way get into this field. This may not be permanent or it may be permanent. The next most commonly opted is services, entry into civils and defense. It needs a preparation. Without preparation you can't just get into on these fields. And also entry process. Firstly, this UPSC, Union Public Service Commission, it is a central recruiting body. The same thing, there is state recruitment bodies, like in our state KPSC is there. For state government owned and run institutions, it will be KPSC. Generally this is considered as superior to all these things. The most commonly opted is combined medical services. You have to select, before you are taking UPSC, you will have to select what stream you want to get into. That is CMS. This can lead on to recruitment into various centrally run organizations like ESI and railways, many other central institutes. And there are other streams as well, which may or may not land you up into the medical profession. Most likely IAS, there are so many doctors who are opting for Indian administrative services and also police services and also foreign service. There is one more called combined defense service. I am not very sure at this stage, because some people tell you can also gain entry into combined defense services using this option, but most of the doctors would like to practice medicine even when they are on army. That it is through applying army medical corps. There is a separate test being run. We have to apply to short service commission and later on apply for permanent commissioning. There is a way to enter Navy through lateral means, and also you can apply PG at Armed Forces Medical College. Later you will be absorbed into one of the services into the army. So these are the ways to enter into civils and defense services. Coming to research, which is not very much well explored in our country, but highly established in Western countries, namely UK, US, Canada, and probably in Australia also. It can be generally broadly divided into non-academic and academic. In non-academic, there are various research assistant, post-MBBS positions. Am I audible? Okay. Okay. There are various research assistant positions at various projects. There are multiple projects which will be taking place in central institutes like AIMS, PGMR, Chandigarh, JIPMER, NIMANS, and also bodies like ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Bhabha Atomic Research Center, and CCMB. And also there are variety of fellowships that are available for post-MBBS graduates, WHO, UNICEF, so on. There are so many United Nations organizations and WHO things which are available, but you need mentorship and guidance to get into all these things. And there are various overseas fellowships from multiple universities abroad which are offered, which we need to keep informed about. And there are few academic positions also. We can get enrolled into direct PhD programs, integrated programs they are called. They'll give you a master degree, MS commonly, and then enroll you into PhD programs. Most often it will be in the basic clinical sciences, and also there will be MSc programs and MS. Various Indian and foreign universities are already offering the courses which may be directly related to medical specialties or may not be directly related. This is about research. This is less explored, but this is booming nowadays. In another probably decade, by the time you get out of this course, it will be in its peak. Then comes the practice, which is fancied more often, but post MBBS there are some reservations again, but you can still set up practice. 2 or 3 decades back, this was the option for our professors and teachers of teachers. Okay, how to set up a practice? There are various setups in which you can start practice. Typically OPD clinic, one doctor clinic, and there can be dispensaries, polyclinics, own hospital. If you are already having your own hospital, you can start your practice in that. Daycare clinics, inpatient setups, de-addiction centers, rehab homes, old age homes, palliative care, all these are places where you can start direct practice, often associated with various specialists. And there are community clinics, you can do home visits, and most commonly nowadays as a bridge to preparation for higher studies. And this slide is very cramped up because this is the option which is coming up nowadays. I have slightly involved a lot of things to give you an idea. I mean, this may not be the reality in near future, doctors opting for all these things, but these are the things which we should be open into. Broadly, service oriented setup you can start. Entrepreneurship is just start a business venture based on healthcare industry, and you recruit people, you manage a business, you employ people, you will be accountable for all those things. Here the practice takes a back seat. Okay, you can still practice at your own risk. These are service oriented, production based, finance and management based, and medical education based. All these are lucrative but highly risky. You'll have to choose between the risk benefit ratio. And there are few things to tell. Basic is to start and host a hospital or a polyclinic or a nursing home, recruit consultants, other healthcare staff, build a bigger hospital, specialty centers, institutes, research centers, labs, diagnostic centers, advanced imaging and intervention centers, chain of hospitals, chain of pharmacies. All these are possible for an MBBS graduate. Production based, there are a lot of things the doctors are getting involved into. Usually pharmaceutical companies, manufacturing, drug manufacturing and packaging, surgical and consumable, medical supplies manufacture, gadgets and machineries, and R&D of medical technology. And nowadays this is getting a boom. Information technology related to healthcare is being taken towards different heights. And also medical education technology. There are various use of technology that are used in improvised teaching methods for graduates. And finance based, these are less explored anyways, just you can take a look. And this is one more other possibility. Coaching institutes, there are a lot of NEET or probably in coming days next coaching institutes that might come up, and you can start medical college, PG centers, online teaching platforms, fellowships, advanced learning centers, so on. Okay. So this is on entrepreneurship. Now we have till now not discussed whether it is in India or abroad, but all these options fit best for our own country, because to do all these things in other countries, they have its own disadvantage. And we'll come and discuss about options abroad for a brief time. See, these are the common destinations for higher studies. USA being the commonest, UK, Canada, Australia, Russia and Singapore. And upcoming, why I'm telling in a special mention is, these are upcoming and offering more and more courses. Germany and other Eastern European countries, they are opening up their universities to the foreign students. They have considerably less tuition fees and also job options, free cost of living is much lesser than particularly this country. Okay, right. And common destinations for work and job prospects, most commonly Middle East and USA, Canada as well, UK, Oceania and Asia Pacific, most commonly Singapore, and also Caribbean countries. There are many other countries which are coming up, but we need to keep updated on all those things. See, just a brief discussion of what are the requirements when you think of going abroad. Primarily, to check whether your degree in college is recognized by specific countries, medical council or authority. Next, this one thing you'll have to focus on, licentiate examination. Most of the countries have their own licentiate examination, including our country, in order for foreign medical graduates to practice or pursue higher education. Costs involved definitely to be calculated. Visa issues, security is another thing. It involves not just personal, it involves job security, social, financial, medical and also religious securities to be considered before you go into any country. Language barriers, especially when I am mentioning Germany, Germany will not allow you if you don't learn German, and you don't find many English speaking people. Even if you find English speaking people, you don't understand the way they speak. So you'll have to learn the local language in order to get into those countries. Even UK doesn't allow you without going through a English test. It's called IELTS. Okay. Financial deposits and paperwork. There are a lot of things that are hidden. Okay, you need to have certain amount of money in your account before entering into these countries and also to get visas. Okay. And personal medical condition, the most ignored, but we'll have to consider all these things. So briefly, because most of the people opt US, I'm telling you what is the process that is involved into getting into US. Regardless of where and what you have studied, you have to pass 3 steps of exams in 4 parts. The graduates inside USA will gradually clear in first or second year of their professional year. Now that you will spend all of your time in India, you will have to start it after. You can as well do it before you pass out in final year. USMLE part 1 can be taken like that. Pass in USMLE 2, there are 2 different exams. One is knowledge and skills, and USMLE 3. Ultimately, you will have to pass this in order to practice in US. For getting into residencies, many people will crack this and later on pass these things. The 3rd step. Other countries in UK, lab 1 and 2. One can be taken here and you have to go to the UK. There are only 4 centers available. In Australia, similar exams called AMC, Australian Medical Council. In Canada, LMCC, and Germany, I can't pronounce this. There is a licentiate exams in Germany also, which also grants you access to many Eastern European country run universities, German speaking especially. So these are the things which has to be decided before going to abroad. Why do you want to go? Why can't you do it here? You have to justify your decision. When do you want to go? You can go to abroad at various stages like pre-PG, post-MBBS, post-PG, post super specialization. You can still go to abroad, get experience, make money, and come back. And what do you want to do? Is it for higher education? Is it for only job, or both? How long is another thing? Many people say they'll just go for 2 years, finish their fellowships, and come back. Most of them will not. Okay. And what after you come back? Okay. India has its own increasingly getting structured. Indian healthcare industry is getting more and more structured nowadays. When you return from other countries, you will be slightly lagging in many institutes, especially medical colleges will not give you any weightage even if you take multiple degrees there. But outside the medical colleges, you will still have much of weightage, but you will have to work out later. What after you come back? That is why short and long term plans to be worked out before you decide to go abroad. Okay, like this is about abroad, and I had stopped in earlier slides. These are non-medical higher education. I had one of my friends who came to medical. He didn't want to continue into this field. He wanted to do engineering, but somehow forced to do medical. He was always dreaming of machines, computers, back down in 15 years back. Okay, so you can still continue your medical expertise in these fields, which require medical knowledge combined with technology. These are the hybrid courses: biomedical, genetic and drug research, pharma field, biomedical engineering, and medical technology. This is coming up and getting a huge boost nowadays. Advanced technologies such as data mining, artificial intelligence, machine learning, which are being increasingly used in healthcare. They need a doctor in the team, and who is especially equipped by IT skills. And there are other few options available like medical transcription and NGO, which may not be directly related to this higher education as well. Okay, and these others, at this juncture it may appear funny, but there are so many prominent people who have passed MBBS are doing very well in all these fields. Politics is one such, and you know very well there are doctors who are doing, playing a pivotal role in COVID-19. Theatre and showbiz, okay, journalism, literature. There are few of my friends in my personal experience who have entered into all these things and doing very well. Agriculture, farming, nowadays coming up, don't forget about this. Okay, creative arts, architecture, business ventures, not at all related to medicine, hospitality and real estate, trading, of course, sports, nothing need to be mentioned in special. All these things are still possible if you complete medicine. Okay. In the end, I just want to wrap up. More details can be included, but it just becomes career counseling, which I don't want to do right now. Each of us has different interests, abilities, and desires. Fate, luck, and destiny perhaps play some role too in our lives. So, what are you thinking? You answer that in the postage form, which will be posted. Right now, what you got to do is, okay, right. So, if there are any questions in another 20 minutes, okay, for the next session, I'll be happy to take up. I'll come and sit with you. You can ask, or I'm always available. There are much more competent people on this thing to be asked, not just me. Okay, right. Take care. Thank you. Alena. ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಬರ್ಬೋದಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇರ್ಲಿ ನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇರ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸಿಗಾಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಓಕೆ ಮೇಡಮ್ ನೀವು ಬನ್ನಿ if anybody is asking questions, I will be happy to answer.
Students, if you have any questions, please ask them. Ask them out loud. Use the mic to ask them. Sir will answer your questions. He's sitting in the stage, waiting for your answers, questions. Yeah. Go ahead, ask.
So what is polyclinical dispensaries? Polyclinic and dispensaries, could you explain that?
Yeah, polyclinics and dispensaries are just a category of healthcare setups. Polyclinics are essentially OPD setups which are run by multiple doctors. It may be specialized or it may be non-specialized, but usually restricted to OPD settings. Uh, Rather than one doctor running a single counter OPD, they'll run in a different setup. Dispensaries has one distinction where the pharmacy is also included into the healthcare setup. These are just uh, legal definitions or official definitions, that's all. Not very much difference. When you are enrolling into private medical setups, establishment and all, you need to specify what you are opening. Okay. Right. I hope this should be clear. Is it clear?
So what is the scope? Can I ask it?
Yeah, sure.
So what is the scope of psychiatry in urban and rural areas, sir?
See, when I compare it for the last decade, there are increasingly many people coming up into the psychiatry field. Not just because it is easier to do, it is not so easy as I told. First of all, there are very few psychiatrists. The gap, what we call it as patient and burden to the specialists available, very huge. One of the largest gaps for any specialty is in psychiatry. So India can still accommodate minimum of 10 to 15,000 psychiatrists in another 5 years. Okay. And other thing is the burden is in a broader way 30% of general population, that is around how much it becomes around 20 to 30 crore of people need intervention, mental health intervention. Okay, so by existing psychiatrists will not be able to cater all the needs. So in future this is one of the branch that might be in demand. Nowadays it is already in demand. You can establish your private setups as well as join services. Uh, right now it is coming up is what I feel. Did that yeah. If that has answered your question, that's fine. Otherwise, I will be more precise. You can ask anything in precise if you want.
Precisely is that my mom is a doctor, and whenever I ask her about the physical specialty and all, she used to say, she gives me a particular idea that such area, such fields such as radiology,
Okay.
all those are main accepting areas.
Okay.
I just wanted to go for psychiatry also. Is it so that it is as similar as radiology in terms of success, in terms of pain from nature?
See, the dynamics between each specialty is slightly different, and it all depends on what extent you have to, where you have, I mean, you decide to work, what you decide to become. If you just want to stick to practice, psychiatry is definitely possible. You can start your practice at taluk level as well as Cosmo cities also. But the super specialization usually it narrows down your field of interest and work area, so that you can't, if you settle down in periphery, it might be difficult for you to engage in your specialty. So you have to be in larger cities, bigger institutes to, if you do super specialization is what I feel. But psychiatry, if you do psychiatry, you can start your practice from even taluk level and you can extend wherever. And it is no more an end specialty right now. I have told you there are 3 things that are coming up. by the time you finish your degrees, there are another 2-3 subspecialties might come up into the DM, but it has got its own disadvantages anyways. While earning definitely better, radiology right now it seems quite lucrative. This may not be the case always. The dynamics keeps changing. We'll have to wait and get ourselves updated until another half a decade probably. Yeah.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, yeah. One.
In case I want to do my PG and AFMC and get into different semesters,
Yeah.
what other points should I keep in mind other than just preparing for PG? Like what other criteria and if once I get into that field, how many years service is secured?
It's not like that. You can just apply to AFMC. Uh, there are recruiting calls that will be available. I mean, after PG, there will be certain quota available, lesser quota anyways, available for graduates from civilian medical colleges. There will be larger percentage of seats reserved for people who have done it from AFMC itself. Undergrad, this one, sorry. There will be quota from wards of defense personnel. There are multiple quotas. Okay, so you can apply. I'm not very sure whether NEET is applicable. As far as my knowledge goes, NEET may not be applicable in AFMC, but Pune AFMC has been released. Even in NEET, there is a quota for NEET based also. I'll clarify it and let you know. You will have to apply for it, and after your PG, you will have a bond. Bond almost means like a short service commission. You will have to complete 5 years of service in any wing they allot you. The probably allotment it goes like this: 8:1:1 in Land, Army, Navy, and Air Force. It depends. It's not there is not sure. You will be recruited into the army, and at least 5 years you'll have to serve. After that, they'll decide. You will have to apply for permanent commission and all. You will be taken as a specialist in even in armed forces. Okay, and your rank will be higher. Usually, the rank of captain or major. Okay, once you finish it. Yeah. Yeah, somebody had popped in the question. The CK is just like one MCQ based exam, which can be taken here only. I think that part can be taken outside US also. Once you get eligible, it is. I'm not very clear on the structure because I haven't taken it. There will be usually MCQ kind of questions, just like your NEET, that tests your knowledge domain. Okay, after that, once you get eligible to that, you will have to apply for CS exam, which is taken in US. Okay, that will be done in probably a 9-hour exam divided into few blocks, where it is more intense. Okay, so step 1 usually concentrate on basic sciences. Step 2 CK will be focusing on clinical specialties. That's all is the difference between step 1 and 2. Yeah.
Students, while speaking, you can actually unmute your video also if you like. It's fine if you unmute your video and microphone both.
Hello, sir. Tell me.
So what is the difference between NEET and the next, sir?
See, next is a proposed exam, national exit exam. Uh, this will be equivalent to your final year MBBS exam, and there will be no NEET afterwards. Your score in next will be taken for entrance exams also. This is very much debated and controversial thing that is happening in the center now. If NMC has proposed the bill already, if it gets accepted, uh, who knows, you might have next instead of NEET, and it will be 1 year before. You will not be having ample of time to prepare for NEET, go to coaching and all. So the dynamics will definitely change, the way you study, the way you prepare. That's what is. Keep updated. Okay, this is one upcoming thing. Yeah.
Sir, will next be a descriptive test, sir? Or will it be an objective test?
And the pattern is yet to be decided. Most often it will be a mixture of essay kind of questions, existing scheme, and also some proportion will be left for MCQ as well. Okay, this is not going to be easy. One thing I'm sure, this is not going to be easy. So be aware of this thing. If it comes to you, you'll have to walk an extra mile. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
I have time. Lots of time, no problem.
If you have any more questions, you're more than welcome to ask, and Gopal Das sir is more than happy to answer them. Please make use of his vast knowledge.
We are almost equal to your knowledge at all. Yeah.
So, like, what happens after you come back from India, after studying in India?
It depends on what you study. Yeah. Please go on. Yeah.
If it's study there for PG, like it's diploma resident and work there for some time. When okay, let's just consider we have a specialization. So it's just some specialization. When we come up after that.
Yeah. See, I'll ask a basic question. See, if the degree you did in India is not easily recognized by other country, why should I recognize the degree done in some other place? Why should I accept that in India? So, the Indian authorities don't easily accept the post graduation done outside. You'll have to. There are some certain restrictions, but those are all minor right now. If you do a post graduation outside, you will be recognized in many of the health setup, but not the government colleges. The government colleges are, not just government colleges, all private, government, whatever medical education setups, there is a catch. Okay, they accept the strict norms of faculty qualifications. If they have not done MD or MS or DM or MCH, there are few reservations that medical colleges apply. Okay, if you do MRCP and all, it is not recognized in medical colleges, but it is widely acclaimed and accepted in corporate chains. Okay, so it depends on where you want to come back and settle down. If you want to continue in Indian medical education, it is better to get the degrees from here, but that is not always the case. There are people who are doing exceedingly well. This is regarding only qualification and certificates on paper. But there is one more topic which Dr. Deepak will be dealing, that personal growth. the experience, the skills, the attitude which you develop in other countries is always indispensable and valuable. If you come back and practice here, you still need to adapt to the Indian local. You can't just practice the way you did it in US or UK. With all your skills and knowledge, you'll have to come back, adapt here. Only then you will succeed. This is what is my suggestion. Okay. I hope you are clear. Hmm? Is it fine? Yeah. Yeah.
Any of you have any more questions, or shall we conclude this session?
So, what is radiology?
Radiology is again a specialty where you deal with imaging. Okay. Uh, it will teach you, the field will teach you the physics behind imaging, and it has lot of anatomy to learn, and the skills you'll have to do. uh, Basically at your level it is about learning how to do ultrasound scans, MRI, CT scans and all other advanced scans. This is what is going to teach you. Primarily it is in the diagnostic field. Okay. So you will be referred patients, you will have to perform scans and interpret, report them, which will aid clinicians to take decisions based on that. Okay. This is a specialized field which others cannot do it. It needs a very intense training. Okay. This is radiology.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Your audio is not very clear. Will you just try to be a little clear? See, all these fields, the requirements and the dynamics keeps changing. So all we have to do is we have to keep updated, because many setups get saturated, they get decentralized. Initially people will get flocked and accumulated into the metro cities, the bigger cities. Later on they'll get saturated. Unless they move out or retire or various attrition takes place, that post will be saturated. So you will not be having vacancies. This is what the main reason. The demand will keep fluctuating. Right now, there is a trend that there are many people have taken radiology in last decade. Things are getting saturated, and that may not be the always. It may not happen always. Right now, some another 5 years, there are not many people would take it, and again the demand increases. This is what is called dynamics. So before you start preparing for PG, keep observing the trends, and most above all, you will have to see your desires and your wish to do which field you want to take up, because this is for lifetime. If you land up in a subject which you don't want just for making money or getting into positions, you will suffer throughout your life. So just because of the fancy, don't select the subject. Okay, you decide on what you are good at. This is called career counseling. Okay, fine. Yeah. Go on. Yeah, Megan. Hmm. Okay. Clear? No, usually it depends on where you get your post graduation from. Again, I told, uh, I'll clarify it once again, because I don't see many postgraduates who did it outside come and practice in the medical college. So there are two types of setups in India. One is teaching setups, research setups, and clinical practice. Usually, that clinical practice does not involve teaching many times. Okay, teaching means the formal MD, MS, DM, and MCH courses. So, teaching side, there are some problems in recognizing foreign degrees. Okay, if you want to settle down anywhere else in the whole India, the post graduations done in premier institutes are readily accepted and are actually welcome. Okay, this is what is the state now. When you want, in most of the people doesn't want to come back and get stuck at medical colleges after finishing grand PGs there. None, most of them will not be able to, would not be willing to come back and teach in medical college. This is what is the present scenario. If you still want to come to medical college, make sure you get a clearance from NMC. There is nothing exams as such. Yeah. Yeah. One at a time. Yeah. Your practice, definitely you can come and straight away start your practice. Then nobody is going to prevent you. All you need to have proper papers. That's all. Yeah. Yeah. One more was asking. Endocrinology, DM endocrinology, you mean? Yeah, it can be done after medicine and pediatrics. This is the last question, and if you have any other questions, you can always mail us. I will get back to you. Okay, this endocrinology in that matter. Yeah, the field becomes narrow. Okay, right now this also includes diabetes and many other endocrine disorders where they take up specialized treatments. Okay, but many of it will be treated by broad specialty people in periphery. Only this, again, I told you, these will be useful only in a bigger and referral setups. Okay, right now the scenario, it might improve in future. Okay, earning wise, handsome, don't worry. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'll take a leave and I'll hand over the session to. Yeah, we are posting the post-test form. It is almost similar to the pre-test, just for fun, but be honest in answering. Okay, it will be valuable for our understanding. Okay, now I'll hand over the session to my colleague Dr. Deepak, who will be telling you about the personal growth. Okay, this is almost related to the session, so listen to it intently. Okay, over to Deepak, sir. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.